where we got these pictures that these artists are very talented. There is a woman on a beast, and this beast is flying through the air and got 7 heads, 10 horns. I've seen the artist depiction of it, but that don't mean that I'm going to see something like that. But there are those who may believe you're going to see something like that if you're going to take that parable literally. Continue.
And his tail drew the third part of the stars of heaven and did cast them to the earth.
So if the dragon isn't literal, let's say the dragon isn't a literal dragon, are the stars that his unliteral tail is grabbing literal stars? Continue, please.
And the dragon stood before the woman, which was ready to be delivered, for to devour her child as soon as it was born.
Okay, that's good. So we see a woman, and the woman fled into the wilderness, right? So you got this woman, and when he saw that woman, when she first appeared, what was she clothed with, brother? She had the sun on,
and the moon.
She had the moon on, and the stars on. If that woman isn't literally a woman, like the women I'm looking at here, then the sun she clothed with, the moon she got on, and the stars about her aren't literal either. Let us go to Genesis 37. I saw something like this before. That same kind of allegory or symbolism in the prophets. When I looked at that, it should provoke you to go into the prophets. So one place I found it in a symbolism form is in the prophets in the dream of one Joseph. Let's just go there and read it for a witness. Genesis 37. And when you get there, brother, let me get there too. Genesis 37 and verse 9.
And he dreamed yet another dream, and told it his brethren, and said, Behold, I have dreamed a dream more. And behold, the sun and the moon and the 11th star made obeisance to me.
Now look, he literally saw the sun, the moon, and the stars bowing to him in his dream. So he told the dream, right? Now we know later on that Joseph had the power to interpret dreams, right? But guess who else had the power to interpret dreams? His daddy. Look what his dad said. Go ahead.
And he told it to his father and his brethren. And his father rebuked him and said unto him, What is this dream that thou hast dreamed?
What is this that you don't imagine in your head? What is that?
Shall I and thy mother and thy brethren indeed come to bow down ourselves to thee, to the earth?
Now, the brothers envied him, and it said the father observed the same. So the father like, what is this that's been shown to you? Me, your mother, and your brothers in them gonna wind up bowing before you with our faces to the earth? His father understood the sun, moon, and the stars to represent him, his wife, and his other sons. That's what he understood. So what do we understand the sun, moon, and the stars that woman was clothed with to represent? What do we understand that when the sixth seal was opened, the sun went black as sackcloth of hair, the stars fell from heaven, and the moon became as blood? Is it people? Can we prove it? I don't know. But just from what we found so far, me and you, and probably some of you out here like, yeah, okay, I can see that. But let's go further because everyone may not think in that same manner. Let the Bible speak to us. Let's go to Psalm 72. And when you get there, brother, let's start reading at verse 1. This is very interesting here. Go ahead.
Give the king thy judgments, O God, and thy righteousness unto the king's son. He shall judge thy people with righteousness, and the poor with judgment. The mountains shall bring peace to the people, and the little hills by righteousness. He shall judge the poor of the people. He shall save the children of the needy, and shall break in pieces the oppressor. They shall fear thee as long as the sun and moon endure throughout all generations.
Now, how long shall the people fear this one who gonna bring this peace and equity to the earth? He gonna judge the earth for the poor. Those who are the oppressors gonna be broken in pieces. The people gonna fear him how long? As long as the sun and moon endure is how long their fear of this one shall last. So the sun and the moon enduring in this parable being used to be equated with how long the people shall fear the Redeemer is intriguing. Continue.
They shall fear thee as long, verse 6. He shall come down like rain upon the mown grass, as showers that water the earth. In this day shall the righteous flourish in the abundance of peace, so long as the moon endureth.
How long shall his righteousness flourish and his peace? As long as the moon endureth. So if the moon don't endureth, then there could be a break in how long his peace lasts. Because he's using this symbolism saying, a man who understand. This ain't to every man, because every man don't understand this stuff.
Right.
But those who understand my covenant with the sun and with the moon will understand what I'm saying when I'm using the sun and the moon to give you comparison on how long my righteousness is going to endure. In other places it said everlasting, perpetual, forever. Words like that used. Forever can mean a long time in some context. But when you throw other words like everlasting and perpetual with it, it's letting you know there ain't no end in sight. Let us go somewhere else and look at something. Now that was describing God's power. And he used the sun and the moon to be equated with the effectiveness and the longevity of his power. So what is the effectiveness and the longevity of the sun and the moon so we can understand how long his power is going to last? Go to Jeremiah 31. Jeremiah chapter 31. And we're going to read verse 35 and 36. Jeremiah 31. And we're going to read verse 35 and 36. And as soon as you got it, brother, you could go.
Thus saith the Lord, which giveth the sun for a light by day, and the ordinance of the moon and of the stars for a light by night, which divided the sea when the waves thereof roar. The Lord of hosts is his name. If those ordinances depart from me,
so if those ordinances with the sun and the moon to do what they do break, that's what they depart from me. Like that's going to stop whether it depart for 1 day or 100 days. If that ordinance I've set for the sun and the moon can stop at any time, go ahead.
Saith the Lord, then the seed of Israel shall also cease from being a nation before me.
So do you see how he used it in this instance? I got the sun and the moon locked in the ordinance. And if that can stop, then my plan for Israel can stop as well. Continue.
Thus saith the Lord, if heaven above can be measured.
No, I'm sorry. I said 35 and 36. Go over to chapter 33. Next chapter, 2 chapters over, 33. And when you get there, start reading at verse 19. Just so he can establish out of his own mouth this thing about the sun and the moon and their endurance. Chapter 33, starting at verses 19 through 21.
And the word of the Lord came unto Jeremiah, saying, Thus saith the Lord, if ye can break my covenant of the day, and my covenant of the night, and that there should be not day and night in their season, then may also my covenant be broken with David, my servant, that he should not have a son to reign upon his throne, and with the Levites, the priests, my ministers. So if the covenant of day and night can be altered in any way, now I'm not questioning the Most High's power. I'm just trying to establish what he wrote. That's all. If he want to stop day and night, then so be it. Who am I to do anything about it? But if he ain't got no plan in sight for day and night to stop, who am I? What can I do about it? So I'm going to accept what he has written in more places than one, that my covenant with day and night cannot be broken. And if it can, then can my plan for the sons of Jacob. Oh, my promises to David. Oh, and also that I'm going to have the Levites before me forever. All of that can be just basically turned some other way if those things can be turned. We don't know of any time since they were established that they have broken their course. Anybody ever heard anything about them breaking their course? Eclipses, lunar or solar, is not a break
in their order. That is part of their order. Because the sun is in the heavens and the moon for signs and for wonders. So those eclipses and what they represent as well are all a part of the order of God.